Okay, I think today is the day when I will finally attempt to do something with this jacket. I thrifted it in summer, I think, back in summer, yeah. And everything is fine with this jacket, it's not destroyed, it's, I will say, fits me quite well. It's really nice material, it's 100% virgin wool. The brand of this jacket is Stefanel, which is, I would say, quite nice brand. Everything is fine with this jacket, but there are little things that bothers me a little bit. I wore it a few times, but I didn't get used to it, and finally today is the day when I will attempt to change it. I don't know how it will go. I will take you through the process and hopefully I'm not gonna destroy it. I hope so. So, as you can see, it's quite nice, not complaining of anything. Maybe buttons, it's not, how I would say that, they are a little bit cheapish looking, which doesn't help overall design of this jacket, just my opinion. And I will probably change them in future, but just right now I don't have buttons in this size and I'm not going to run into the shop just to buy a button. So this is for future. But one main design feature that I think that doesn't suit me, maybe someone taller, maybe someone with different proportion of a body, but it's just not for me. I tried, I don't like it, and it's this part at the back. As you can see here at the waist, it has some type of like gathering over there. At this point of a body, for me, is not nice. I just feel like makes me look like I'm wearing diaper here or something. I don't know, it's so weird.
I just don't like it and I want to change it, so hopefully I can do it.
I think it's not so hard to change.
Maybe I'm wrong.
But I have this naive idea that it will be possible and not so hard. So what is the game plan? So I would like to detach lining from the jacket over here down. As much as needed in order that I can flip it inside out, and then I will open this seam over here, and I will simply try to just remove the gathers. So I will pull out the fabric in order that it becomes just straight. And all this excess fabric that will be created here will make some type of like a big dart. It will be from inside. I will cut the excess fabric because it will be too bulky, and I will have to do exactly the same thing from inside for the lining. And then I will just, I think, hand stitch back the lining to the jacket.
And this is my idea, so let's hope I can achieve this.
And so, as you do, I just started to ripping the seams with my trusty seam ripper. And let me tell you, there was a lot of it. The goal is now to remove this gathering from here, and exactly the same thing on the lining, as I said. After I was done with the seam ripping, I don't show it to you here, but I went to iron this piece so it will lay nice and flat because it was so wrinkled from gathering. Okay, so my target now will be, first of all, lay it as flat as possible on the table. If you can, I will pull this fabric until there will be no more gathers here, and it will lay nice and flat, just like this. I started to pin seams together to be super precise, and let me tell you, it was not so complicated. It was just fiddly job, But with the patience, I got there and I created this huge dart, which is sewn just with a basting stitch at first, you know, to be sure and check if everything is correct before I sew it permanently. When it was okay, I sew it down with a normal stitch, and then I flip it right side out just to check again if the seams are matching, if they are lining up, and as you can see here, it's great. And then I will need to sew this gap now. But before I remove all the thread from the basting stitch before, and I cut this dart open with the pinking shears. It wasn't necessary to do it with the pinking shears, but I just wanted to take this extra step. So I cut it open and I iron it down nice and flat. Then I pinned the seams that had the gathers before together. Just again check the seam if everything was okay. And then I went to my sewing machine and sew it together. Of course, I didn't include the clip where I broke my needle in my sewing machine because it didn't happen, never happened to me. I'm a perfect person. Of course, I'm just joking. But take my advice, if you go through bulky seams like this, just take it easy, go slow, don't break your needles, and if you do, it's okay. As long as you still have two eyes, everything is fine. Before I move to lining, little check, and by someone's face you can tell that everything is going quite well. Here I wasn't sure if I will show you this part because it was exactly the same thing for the lining as I did for the top layer, but of course a little bit easier because of the fact that this fabric was not so thick. Okay, so this is how it looks like from the top. I didn't have the same color of the thread, so I used the black one, but you can only see it when you look close. And this is how it looks like from inside. I did the same with the lining like I did from the top. And now is the last thing to do is to finish this lining, and I will do this by hand. So I started my first stitch from inside so that it will cover the knot, and I slowly continue. This was the first time for me to do this type of stitch, and it's used mostly in tailoring because when you are attaching lining to the jacket, it will have quite a lot of pressure at this point, so this stitch is quite flexible. So if you will ever do something like that, learn this stitch, it will be quite practical for you. And yes, I know the color of the thread is not matching, but it's not important because the lining will naturally fall down, so you will not be able to see anything. So at the end I added a couple of knots just to secure it, and I went to the iron and I ironed it where it naturally lining fall down. And guys, I cannot believe, look what I did. Guys, I'm over the moon with the finished result. I hope you are too. I hope you like this video, and please don't forget to subscribe and like, and see you soon again. Bye bye.